Well, hey folks, my name is Brad, and today I have been invited to one of the coolest places I have ever had the opportunity to metal detect. This New England field that I'm standing in over 400 years ago was a place where the Native Americans were meeting and trading with the Europeans who were just arriving. So the things that we could potentially find here today include stone arrowheads and tools dating back thousands of years, but more specifically, those metal objects that were being traded in the early 1600s. Now, I was invited here by one of my friends who has chosen to not be in the video, but quite frankly, he's an expert when it comes to this stuff, so I will more than likely periodically be looking over to him and asking him questions about the things we're finding. All right, no more talking. Let's get the metal detectors out, see what we can find. It's a big piece of iron, it sounds like, right here. What? My buddy's singing over here. We've got a good find over here. No way.
America.
That is wild. So I hear him singing and his hands are up like this. And I come on over here and apparently on the surface, he just missed it with his shovel, is a lead effigy. So back when the natives were here, they were either purchasing bullets or the lead to make bullets, and sometimes they would carve these. And this happens to be, we think, a turtle. A little lead turtle carved by the natives. Wow. Around, we're gonna say early 1600s. Holy smokes. Totally, you can see the four legs and the head. That's incredible. Now, you found other turtles in the past. Are they all very similar in design? Basically exactly, do they ever have tails?
Yeah.
Interesting. So what would they have done with these? Just had their little token, a little totem to hang on to? Nobody knows. Interesting. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
Rack one up for the Deus 1. He's a Deus 1, I'm a Deus 2 user today, so it's friendly competition. That's wild. 55. Where this is, a piece of lead. So I just found this piece of lead, and right away I noticed there's some letters on it. Immediately, my buddy's so far away, I texted him the photo, and he said, that is a great find. He says that this is a bale seal. Now, I have found bale seals here in the US from the 1800s, some from the 1700s, and when I was in Europe much earlier, but I've never found one of this variety. My friend is telling me that this is from the 1630s. So this is a bale seal. This would have had information from the manufacturer on a bale of goods, whatever the goods may have been. And he also told me that these are pretty rare in this type of place because these were oftentimes melted down to be used for other things. Musket balls, maybe even some of those lead effigies I've been hearing about. But in any case, this is a very old bale seal with some text on there. An incredible find. Okay, really nice sounding 82. Oop, right on the surface. Big old musket ball with a sprue still on it. See that? It's left over from the mold process. That's awesome.
So you start getting big chunks like this.
Yeah.
It's laying right there in the furlough.
I see it. Wow. So given this site was a camp or a trading site or hunting ground or all of the above, we're gonna find things that the Europeans traded with them and then they adapted to their own purposes, but we're also going to find things that predated that era significantly. And I heard another call from my buddy and he spotted this, and he was just telling me that these This one in particular is probably 1,000 years old. What a place. There aren't too many places in the world where you can find native artifacts with a metal detector. And you can also find stone tools and artifacts like these as well. I'm gonna go throw this in his pile of stuff that he's accumulated already. 75. This is it. Little brass hinge. Now what?
I got something cool. I got a native gun flint.
Oh yeah, that's what I just found.
Oh, it's off a rim of a kettle.
You think so?
Yeah,
I see that, but I thought it was so small that it was probably something like a hinge or something. So once again, my buddy has found something that I am now showing the camera. It's a piece of flint, but because of the actual variety of flint this is, and of course the shape, this is a gun flint. So if you think about a flintlock gun, this would have been clamped in effectively the hammer. This would have created the spark, which then would have ignited the firearm. So cool. Man, he has an eye for this stuff. And this is my fourth time doing something like this. I do not have the eye for it. There's beads out here, obviously stone points, as well as things like this. He's on a roll. Unsurprisingly. Awesome find. Do you see it? Wow. Yep, that is a pipe bowl. That's a beauty too. This is probably a nail. What do you think? Is this fence wire?
No, that's a kettle hook.
A kettle hook?
Mm-hmm.
Like a bale?
Kind of.
Okay. All right.
But there's a conical point right there on the surface.
You're right. You heard it with your metal detector, and there it is, huh? Back when the Europeans were first showing up and trading with the natives, they were trading these large brass copper kettles. And once those kettles developed holes and were no longer useful, they would cut them up and make points. And what we have here is an example of a conical point, which my buddy has once again found on the surface. You can see the impression there in the dirt. And you can see just how sharp the end of this is. This would have been on a small wooden shaft. Now, in earlier videos that I've done in similar places, the comments are just full of people saying, those are not arrowheads, those are tinklers. They were worn as jewelry. We know because there's no hole in the end, in the sharp end of this. There was no room for any sinew to come out the end of this. And if we took the dirt out, there would no doubt be wood in there as opposed to sinew. That's the difference. So that's an awesome conical arrow point made out of kettle brass, early 1600s. That is an amazing find. Nice work. This is a super loud 75. Ooh. Is that what I think it is? Definitely. Here you can see the perfectly triangular shape to it. This would have been hafted to an arrow shaft, just like the stone arrowheads they had been using for thousands of years, but these are obviously lighter, much faster to make. They would have also traded for scissors or a chisel to make these, and they wouldn't have had to do all of the knapping to make a stone arrowhead. This one specifically may have been put on an arrow, but it doesn't appear to have ever been fired. Sometimes you'll find them and the tips will be bent over as if they made an impact with something. This one is perfect. Incredible find. Brass arrowhead. Look, see that? That is a little bead. Well, all day my buddy has been saying, keep your eyes open. There's just stuff on top that you can't find with a metal detector. Things like beads, stone points, and I've been doing my best. And I finally found a little red bead. It is very small. We have a little red bead, and it looks like there might actually be some black in the center too. That's interesting. So from what I understand, this would have been worked into jewelry, even the clothing, and they would have had a variety of colors. I have personally found red and black at places like this. That is an awesome find. Not too far away from here, I found a clay pipe stem. Now I found a bead on the surface. This seems like a good hot spot. I'm gonna stick around here for a while. Now here I have a 71, very loud. What's in this? Clump's getting smaller. What could it be? 57. Oh my goodness. Oh man, all right, well I was hoping one of us would find one of these today. Every time I've come out, at least one of these have been found. Check that out. So this is a brass ring that was given to the natives early 1600s by the Jesuits in an attempt to convert them to Christianity, and they would have used this during the Lord's Prayer. This particular place, for some reason, you know, we can come to our own conclusions why every single Jesuit ring found here is busted. We're assuming that it was somewhat of a rejection of Christianity. They busted and tossed them. It's an interesting and sad part of the history there. What an amazing find. Thanks again for bringing me here. Look at that. So this is number 2 that I've personally found. Incredible. All right, folks, well, I'm gonna call it a day. The sun is setting, the black flies are starting to come out. Springtime in New England is here. I cannot say it enough. It is so incredibly difficult to find things this old with a metal detector in the United States. I cannot thank my friend enough for inviting me and allowing me to do this here today. He actually left a little bit earlier today, but we did a wrap up of all of the things that he found before he left. We're gonna take a look at that right now. 3 stone points, as well as a flint from a flintlock musket. Kettle lug, it's a mystery. This is a mystery, we don't really know what that is. 2 kettle points, but this, I mean, I've seen photos of them, but I've never seen one in person. That thing is wild. A turtle effigy carved from lead.
Another easy day.
Another easy day. Thanks again for having me.
Yes, sir.
Incredible, right? I have all the things I found set out on a log over here. Let's take a look at that. Over on the left, we have some iron artifacts. I'm fairly certain this is the blade of a trade knife, an iron knife. 3 brass arrowheads, or kettle points as they're oftentimes called. I didn't find any stone points. My friend did. I'm a little bit jealous, but I did find a piece of worked flint. This probably flew off when they were making the ones that he found. A very large pile of lead. Some of them are musket balls, some of them are not. This is a sprue. This would have been attached here as they were pouring it into the musket ball mold. That was a little bit of excess, a little puddle on top that gets cut off. A couple pieces of clay pipe, a bowl and a stem, and then the Campton bale seal. Never found one of those. My friend was excited about it, so I'm excited about it too. And then last but not least, the thing that I am most excited about, the thing that I'm always excited about to find, an early 1600s Jesuit ring. Broken, perhaps, as a demonstration of the rejection of Christianity from the natives. Wild. All right, folks, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If this is the first of mine that you've seen, I post one of these every single Friday. So if you did like what you saw, consider subscribing or just come on back next week. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks again. Hopefully I'll see you next time.